What's up, podcast? Before we start today's episode, I just want to make sure that you guys are following and subscribing all of our content at svaofamerica.com/assistance HQ. There you can find all of the latest and greatest content, podcasts, articles, and so much more. The link's going to be in the description, so make sure you don't ever miss a piece of content. It's a whole lot of assistance going on. And now, a moment from our sponsor. What's going on, Ramblers? Welcome back to another episode of The Ramblings with Angela Roberts Jr. I'm Angela Roberts Jr. Don't forget the Jr. because my dad will open my mail. I love saying that kind of stuff because, man, does he love opening my mail, and do I need to really emphasize that? It's been 23 years, 22, really going on 23, that I've emphasized the Jr. in my name, and it seems to be that you guys somehow always seem to drop the Jr. And it's always for important stuff. You know, I'm still 22. I don't want my dad opening all my mail. I have made some bad credit decisions. I don't want him knowing when I have a parking ticket. I don't want him knowing if I have a court date. Like, oh my gosh. Like, okay, for example, I had an instance in Pennsylvania where I got pulled over. And I was able to, I didn't go to jail or anything. I mean, I got, processed, I guess. I was processed. I didn't have to do bail or anything. It was just like, you have a court date and you're in a system kind of situation. But nobody knew except for like my friends, because I had to actually ask around for some money because I need to get my car out the impound. But to this day, I don't know if my mom knows about it. And I thought about telling her, but I just don't know. I know my dad knows. And the reason my dad knows is because if you've never been in the court system before, if you've never had even close to a parking ticket, then you won't know this. But if you have a parking ticket and you don't go with it, and you don't pay that parking ticket for a certain amount of time, you are going to have to go to court. When you go to court, or if you don't go to court, they're going to keep on sending you information. So when they send you information to your house, as a younger person, you're out of your house a lot of times, especially as a college person. You're either between classes and hanging out with friends and just studying, if you even are studying, and just doing a whole bunch of college things. You're not checking the mail. And even though you are looking for it before your parents, you're not as active as you think you are compared to the routine of your parents coming home before they go inside and checking the mail. That routine is much faster than you think of them coming home to check the mail, because you know what that means? That means you have to be home during that, between the hours of 1 to 3, to make sure that you are getting that mail before they get home. And most of us aren't home between those hours of 1 and 3. We're either working in college or getting things done, just hanging out, because who wants to be home past 2:00 as a college student? So I don't know. The purpose of this podcast today is to really just talk. It's like 8:30 on a Sunday night, and I don't know. I just feel like with the new changes, and as we approach June, my birthday month and everything, and I've been chomping your ear off with the content that I'm going to be releasing, and chomping your ear off with the fact that, you know, June is going to be the month of social media growth and just creating leverage, getting the ball rolling for creating leverage. And get that YouTube is going to be a huge thing for me. For my behind the scenes people that will have an opportunity to see this, if you guys want, you guys are always able to go check out my behind the scenes episodes. This one will have a behind the scenes episode, most likely. So if you want, I always try to get this popping. This is my to-do list for tomorrow, guys. You know, this is a full-on to-do list for tomorrow. And as you can see, I've broken it down into business admin work, marketing work that has to be done for awareness, client work, and then just personal work, you feel me? So client work goes all the way down to here, and then just personal work. And the purpose of me writing it down is just so I can stay organized. Because as you guys know, as a virtual assistant, being organized is one of the key fundamental to just do anything, honestly. Being organized is huge, especially as a virtual assistant when you have so many clients. I have 4 clients right now, working on a 5th, and I know that if I wanted to cap out my hours and I doubled it, and I was going to say I have 10 clients, I have to manage all 10 clients. So it's like having 10 different bosses, and each boss needs a different amount of work and a different deadline. So in order to meet those, I just really have to concentrate, focus. Like, Google is so much my best friend, man, because without, like, I really, okay, so I, like, this is where, like, my company is going to be set apart from other companies, and that's because my company is going to have a platform. Angelo's Assistants of America is going to have a platform, an app that seamlessly connects the client to the virtual assistant that we've paired them with, and gives them access to a portal, which allows them to see the projects, the time spent on projects, the tasks that they've completed in those projects, their invoices. They'll be able to pay their invoices. They'll be able to put tasks on each project. So say they have a social media project and they want to run they want the virtual assistant to create a campaign and then run that campaign under their project. They themselves can list the tasks, and the virtual assistant will get a notification so that they can start working on that task if they don't have anything currently on their plate. It will also allow for the virtual assistants themselves to be able to communicate seamlessly for a great collaborative team experience, because the virtual assistants will be working with each other to help each other. So for large clients that are companies and not individuals, because as of right now, I work with clients that run the companies. They are the solopreneurs, the entrepreneurs. But as the business grows and we are trying to expand into a more enterprise market with bigger businesses, the business itself will be our client and not the actual person. So as of right now, the person that owns the business is who our client is. I have 4 clients, each of who own their own business or are in the process of starting and launching their own business. One of which is a professional who doesn't necessarily have a business, but they just need help professionally in their personal matters. We're making me a personal assistant for them. However, the growth of the company, and what I'm aiming for is that as we, get larger clients, those clients won't be the personal mom and pop owners. They will be the entire company in and of itself. So, for example, I'm just gonna make up an example. A company that I'm not working with, I'm gonna use what's a large company? Oh, my boy works for a company out in Westport. It's a marketing company. He works for a marketing firm out in Westport, right? The owner of his company can contract me and say, hey, listen, I need help in these certain things with my company. I'd work for them, helping them with their company because it's their company and X, Y, Z. However, as the client becomes larger and the client itself becomes the company and not the actual owner or president or whatever itself, while I can be their personal assistant, the company itself can hire me directly. And that will be a larger client, meaning that one personal virtual assistant will not be able to handle the load of hours in which a legitimate large-scale enterprise company would need. So you might need a team of 3-4 assistants. So I plan on breaking out, my specialized virtual assistants versus my virtual assistants, and then even specializing it to people that are working with the entrepreneur or the business owner versus assistants that work with the businesses themselves. So we're taking this imaginary business that we have that's a large enterprise. We'll call it a large enterprise. And that large enterprise needs, let's just say, 100 hours of assistance services. They have a lot of things that need to be done. They need 100 hours. I obviously could assign one person that task of 100 hours, and they'd work on them, and then whenever they'd have one client a month that they just would work with until that client's contract was done, because 100 hours in a month is extremely close to working full time, 40 hours a week. You are 60 hours shy, so they can fit it in another project. Or I can work it as, everyone splits up the hours 10, and I have a team of, say, 6 assistants on it, keeping things short. So the app, which will separate me from other virtual assistant companies, is for the purpose of the client to easily connect with the virtual assistant, and for the virtual assistants to easily be able to collaborate with each other and work together. Between information being spread, because they have access to my resources and the network, so we have to have a way of keeping the network. So that's also a huge thing. I'm going to want to be able to find a way to utilize the network of people that I'm growing. So if I have, say, a network of 500 people, right, and those 500 professionals can act as liaisons for separate things. So like as a virtual assistant, I may not be able to, pick your kids up personally. However, if I know someone that is part of like say Uber, let's just say I knew the person, like the company person at Uber, and I was like, hey, I have a client that needs shuttle services per se, and it's for their child. I would be able to set that up. And that's really how I separate from myself from the competition. One, ease of access in communication between the virtual assistant and the client. So it would be more or less a cloud suite. Yeah, it'd be more or less like a cloud suite web service, kind of like QuickBooks Online or Zoho, but internally for my company, which then could be used because it's so efficient for other companies, or for just it'd be like a combination of Zoho and Angie's List. It's the stupidest way to put it, but think of the cloud-based services like, a CRM. So I'm going to talk about like Zoho, Salesforce, things of that nature. Any collab like Google Suite, the Microsoft Teams, and everything of that nature. And then add Angie's List. So not only do you have a platform in which clients, virtual assistants, and teams and colleagues can collaborate, but they also, in that same system, have access to a large list of businesses or names within their local area that are partnered with us, that either offer deals, discounts, or work with, our company, so that their services may be free to use. So for example, they may say, you know what, we might dish out, let's just call it $100,000 a year to a particular company, and they provide us with certain services for our clients whenever we need it for free. So it's like we almost prepay for certain services that of businesses that work with us, and that ensures that they get business, but also ensures that we are always able to answer a question. So while we may not be able to directly work with you on that, it can turn into the point where we have large companies that we are in partnerships with, and then the smaller companies actually pay us to be on this list, because we provide them with the service in warm leads. So it's I'm really focusing on how I can grow. What time is yeah, so I'm in the process of trying to grow a team. I just got a text from another virtual assistant that I connected with earlier, my boy Devon. And I think the thing is, I don't have a team, and I'm trying to grow a team, because apparently a lot of these venture capitalists and these incubator programs are looking for well put together teams. And so I'm going to be applying for these incubator programs as a solo founder, because I'm a solo founder. I don't have a team of people, of hard work. It's extremely hard to find a team of Black people that are all on the same page, that all want the same thing, have different skill sets, and can all contribute to one particular business. Extremely hard. So I'm going to be going through an incubator program, hopefully, after I apply to a bunch of these things, and then just hope for the growth from there. Just really take the steps in finding even if I have to find a separate mentor. I think that's what also, finding a mentor is something I got to put on my personal list. I need a mentor. So let me put that on my I need a mentor. Because I feel like a mentor will greatly help push this business forward. So that's really just what I wanted to talk to you guys about, give you guys a really good insight onto what my thought process is right now, especially at this time. So, I'll talk to you guys, I'll talk to you Ramblers later. If you have any thoughts, where to find me, how to find me, Assistance HQ everywhere, and use hashtag Let's Ramble if you want to join the conversation. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hey Ramblers, before you go, make sure you're following us on social media at Assistance HQ across the board for all content and exclusives. And for an even more personal touch, subscribe to our weekly newsletter with the link in the description.